Oh gosh, look at all this. Plainfield, New Jersey, Robin. Um, Sunday Funnies, you're welcome. Shreveport, Louisiana. Madison, Wisconsin, Paula. Fergus Falls, Minnesota. There's somebody from Minnesota. Hello from Northern Virginia, Hillary. Wow, folks, Prosper, Texas, Duluth, Minnesota, Telford, Pennsylvania, Marion, Josiah, Jamie, Kim, welcome, welcome, welcome to this webinar, Sparkhouse in the Summer. I'm going to begin this webinar talking about something that maybe you're not so familiar with, and that's that Sparkhouse has a book imprint. Sparkhouse books are out there. I don't know how many of you are aware of our Sparkhouse books, but they're especially useful for graduates, I suppose, as we move into summer. We've got Unscheduled Grace, which are 40 reflections and prayers for college students. So whether we're talking about a graduation gift or something to help our youth transition into college, these devotions are great. They accompany all the challenges of college life, homework, relationships, stress, vocation, all that. And so we're just really pleased to be able to offer from chaplains Catherine Fick and Matthew Merle Unscheduled Grace for our college students. And maybe you're also familiar with We Rise Higher by Joe Davis. This is a perfect gift for congregations to give in recognition of their high school grads. It combines poetry and prayer and all kinds of support for new high school graduates. Uh, Joe, if you've not been to his website yet, has really done some amazing things, and we're so pleased to be. Sparkhouse is so pleased to be partnering with Joe in his presentations, not only with We Rise Higher, but you might be familiar with a couple of his other resources. Remind Me Again, another set of poems, and one that's now just coming out, Unearthing Us. We just learned from Amazon that Joe's work is in the top 12 of poetry resources for youth and young adults. So we're really excited to be partnering with Joe in these resources, and they're great standalone products, and all of them can be read and enjoyed as a book of poetry. Um, but there's other ways that you can use, especially when we think about Unearthing Us, the new book that's coming out. Unearthing Us does feature a facilitator guide, as with Remind Me Again. And I don't know if you've used either of these to kind of unpack Joe's poetry, but certainly there are wonderful opportunities for there to be group conversation about Joe's work. And so if you're not familiar with Sparkhouse Books, and if you're not familiar with kind of our featured author, Joe Davis, we really encourage you to get to know Joe and to really check out his website and the facilitator guides by Reverend Gia Star Brown, because Gia has done some really wonderful work to help groups unpack these poems by Joe Davis. And I did mention earlier that the We Rise Higher book, that's for graduates, Joe's first book, has a kind of a fun little promotion. I know that in some places they throw caps up in the air. Well, we've created, that goes along with the theme of We Rise Higher, a free foldable paper airplane that maybe you can throw in the air at church or wherever to celebrate your graduates. So that free download is available to you as in the download portion of this webinar, in addition to the Sunday Funnies download. So look for the download portion of the webinar, and then check out those 2 free downloads that are provided for you there. So I'm going to move on beyond Sparkhouse Books to talk about some online and hybrid curricula. Now, I know that not all of you have Sparkhouse Digital, but for those of you who do have Sparkhouse Digital, I want to just mention that there's been some changes in Sparkhouse Digital. and not just the new content, because we're constantly adding new content to Sparkhouse Digital. I also want to talk a little bit about organization. Now, it used to be you would click on this wonderful rabbit hole called children's bonus content. And then you would get a number of things: leader support, holiday events, digital activity kits, and at the movies. That's how it used to be. But we have gotten so much content added to Sparkhouse Digital lately that we have reorganized the site in some pretty significant ways. So now when you hit the explore button in children's bonus content, you don't just get 4 categories, you get 11 categories that have been really kind of parsed out, um, given the new content that's been added to Sparkhouse Digital. And there is a lot of new content, including content for summer. I'm going to particularly celebrate a couple of items as I look at all of these content categories. I'm going to celebrate children's church activities, because many people have been asking for something to do with kids during sermon times. Children's church activities represent the beginning of our foray into offering kind of mid-service opportunities for kids. The other thing I want to focus on is some new fun and game content for summer. And so I don't know if you've looked at all of these new tiles yet in Sparkhouse Digital, those of you who are subscribers, but definitely check out these 2 areas, because we now have 15 sets of children's church activities in Sparkhouse Digital. And all the way from the first Sunday of Pentecost through the 15th Sunday, and there will be more coming, more being developed all the time, as people are kind of clamoring for things to do with kids that are kind of a shorter experience. And so, for example, the first Sunday after Pentecost, Holy Trinity Sunday, we've got some supplies that we're suggesting for this: a song to sing during the time, a time in the Bible, a memory verse to practice, some hands-on activities. In fact, a couple of them, and this is all designed to keep kids. 3 of them. Oh, that's right, the God Loves You chair game. These are all designed to keep kids engaged with the readings of the day, but in their own kind of separate experiences. So yeah, really encourage you to take a look at these children's summer church activities of your subscribers to Sparkhouse Digital. Something else you might want to take a look at: these are all the new games that have been added to Sparkhouse Digital. So there's games for all ages that are appropriate to the summer. Some early childhood games that have been added to Sparkhouse Digital. I'm not going to go through all of these games, but I did want to take a look at the coconuts and sugarcane game that's in Sparkhouse Digital. So what we've got, well, maybe what you've got is pool noodles. If you've got pool noodles, aka sugarcane, and you've got some playground balls, aka coconuts, and you've got some cones, you've got some kids, you've got yourself a fun new game in Sparkhouse Digital. High energy level is high, group size is good for large group, preparation, some prep required, and the theme is sharing, stewardship, food, bread. The idea is that kids will share their tropical produce with the other kids. And so really encourage you to take a look, if you've got a subscription to Sparkhouse Digital, to this new content. Now, there is summer content that's legacy content in Sparkhouse Digital, our summer activity kits. If you haven't dug into all of those, there's 3 years worth of them. Again, as we think about the 3-year lectionary cycle, we did 3 years worth of digital activity kits. And so each season of Advent, Lent, summertime, and fall all have a couple of dozen maybe activities in each section for 3 years. So 3 years of summer activities that are available to you in Sparkhouse Digital. Now you can order um, the first year of summer activities, even if you don't subscribe to Sparkhouse Digital. I'll describe that in a second. But do know that each kit includes age appropriate activities, games, art projects, Bible reading guides, and more. They're designed to be printed locally, assembled, given to children, youth, and families. There's a Get Started guide to explain how each activity in the digital activity kits work. And they're a perfect way to engage kids, whether it's at church or at home. We started these digital activity kits during COVID, and people loved them so much we kept it up for 3 years. So do take a look at some of those digital activity kits. Here's an example of a Get Started guide, just with what do you need, what's included, what's it about. Here's an example of one of the things that you can download from the digital activity kits is a 15-page booklet on how kids can interact devotionally with nature. And then there's this fun little blessing box mint tin. So an Altoid a tin you turn into a little diorama as part of one of the projects that you would do in this summer digital activity kit. And these are just two of the, like I said, dozens and dozens of opportunities. If you did want to buy series one, the digital activity kits are available, the entire series, which would be a Lent, summer, fall, I should say, beginning with Advent, for $49.99 from wearesparkhouse.org. You just search on digital activity kits. But all three of them are found, three series are found on Sparkhouse Digital. So intergenerational options. Let's spend a little bit of time talking about intergenerational options. You may be familiar with Journey Together and Good Stewards Together, also available in print, but if you've got Sparkhouse Digital, it's part of your subscription. You can download these resources. And each one has 12 resources that bring your congregation together, that engage participants of all ages. Some have used it as a alternative tradition to the traditional vacation Bible school, maybe an evening activity that you can pull families together once a week or on Sunday mornings. There's lots of different ways that you can organize your use of those 12 intergenerational summer events, because each one stands alone. Each of the events stands alone. There's a kickoff, there's a send-off, but then there's a series of events which we'll be looking at here shortly. So yeah, together, Journey Together, 12 intergenerational summer events, includes a kickoff, includes a couple lessons on the Bible, a couple lessons on the Spirit, a couple lessons on the disciples, a couple lessons on the church, a couple lessons, or should I say not lessons, they're kind of events really that involve your whole congregation, on our interaction with the world. Yeah, really useful things for summertime. You think about it, Pentecost experience coming up, and to have some things that you can use maybe intergenerationally with Pentecost, or through the ordinary season as this disciples move into their ministry and into the world. Okay, so those are a couple of themes for Journey Together, Good Stewards Together. Also similar framework, summer kickoff, and then 12, a summer send-off. But look at those topics. I keep on looking at the themes in Good Stewards Together, and I think, wow, this sounds like a stewardship program in the making, but it's intergenerational and could be done in a fun way, including all the members of your congregation. So think about that. Oh, so Robin, thank you about mentioning that the booklet that you download from Sparkhouse Digital. I'm kind of looking at the chat here and the questions. That is a great little booklet, isn't it? About engaging with nature devotionally. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So all the lesson plans in either of the Good Stewards Together or Journey Together have gathering activities, ways to explore the theme, ways to continue the journey or grow as good stewards with creative options for going deeper into the theme, and there's sending activities for each of the sessions as well. And there's lots of content in the source books related, leader source books related to each of these series, for outdoor projects, games, creative arts, meals, you name it. One of the things I always encourage people to do is whenever you go online to wearesparkhouse.org, scroll down to the bottom of the product page, because there's a lot of things there that you can find that will make uh, your rollout of a product such as Journey Together more useful. You can see samples, you can see suggestions for use. There's a PDF there, and even some suggestions for virtual use if you want to do something that's hybrid or remote, or connect to your families over the summer to uh, faith formation opportunities, knowing that they're could be pretty far flung at times. And these resources also are available both to Journey Together and Good Stewards Together, either as a print or as digital download, or of course available to you as part of your subscription to Sparkhouse Digital. All right, Renew VBS. It's been around for a while. I know that many of you have probably already used Renew, but it's designed to be a forever green VBS, and so you can certainly find opportunities every few years to maybe roll out Renew if you haven't done it for a few years. Uh, it's available as a digital download too. And for those of you who don't know, Renew VBS helps kids hear the call to a ministry of creation care, similar to traditional VBS, but it's different. It focuses on one story. It goes deep in on the parable of the sower and the seeds. But there's resources in Renew from preschool to upper elementary, covering an entire 5 days. There's an all kids option if you want to do kind of a one room schoolhouse situation. There's a lot of action involved in Renew VBS. The themes: planting seed, taking root, growing, facing challenges, and living together. And similar to many VBSs which you've used, there's kind of a tagline: God's love is a seed in me. God's love takes root in me. God's love is growing in me. The love of Jesus helps me face challenges. We live together in God's love. So that's kind of an overview of Renew. Very similar to many VBSs you may use that have different activity sites, rotation, kind of a format from Gather, and then you go between self, community, world activity sites. The preschoolers are on their own page, but everybody kind of ends up in ascending activity, and with games, of course, and snacks. So Renew has all of that available to you. The Renew VBS videos, how do you set up Renew, is found on the We Are Sparkhouse YouTube site. So there's a lot of supporting video about Renew on our YouTube site. We Are Sparkhouse, and go to YouTube and then check on the words "We Are Sparkhouse." So yeah, Renew resources. So many of you are familiar with that, and it is available as a digital download, but it's also included in Sparkhouse Digital. You can get Renew either way, but it's only in a digital form for you to reproduce locally. All right. Of course, our Sunday schools all have summer options. I've provided the World Sunday Funnies for you. Again, check your download pod in your webinar to look for both the World Sunday Funnies for this coming summer, which is provided for you as a gift for attending the webinar. And I added a bonus, the paper airplane option for graduates related to Joe Davis' We Rise Higher book that I spoke of earlier. That'd be kind of fun to throw around. So there you go, Sparkhouse in the summer. You can get many of these resources by subscribing to wearesparkhouse.org. But you know, keep in mind that if you get a free trial, you can also download a few. I think there's a 7 7 download limit to a free trial. But if you're really interested in something and want to get it right now, and you're not ready to subscribe to Sparkhouse Digital yet, you can grab some resources that way by way of a free trial. Of course, the summer digital activity kits. Ta-da! All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about print-only curricula. And when I buzz through this, I'm going to stop and talk and look at some of the questions. So if you do have questions, do populate that questions pod, and I will circle back and talk about some of the things that you've got in mind in the questions pod. Print only curriculum. This is content as it says, only available in print. It's not on Sparkhouse Digital. You can't get it as a digital download. You have to buy the hard copy resources if you want to use it, and those would include resources like Operation Restoration, which is our VBS last year, that just springs from the story world of Pastor Daniel Erlander, with captivating language and illustrations that portray the heart of the Christian gospel, an overarching restoration theme that inspires everyone to be menders of God's world. Daily themes that kids understand, multi-sensory activity centers, art, music, science and nature, service learning and storytelling, and then all of it really flexible so that you can use this content in many different modes of how you do summer ministry or how you do VBS. The themes: feed, heal, forgive, pray, rest. Super simple, right to the heart of the gospel, and very much in the spirit of Pastor Daniel Erlander and his work. So we're pleased to roll that out for kids in Operation Restoration. I don't know, have any of you used Operation Restoration? If you have, use that questions pod to let me know. If you've used it, what your experience has been with Operation Restoration. It was new last year. It's another VBS that's not like Renew, that's not designed for a particular year. I know that the VBS machine cranks out the latest and greatest every year, and we've sort of stepped off of that treadmill and have tried to create content that's more evergreen and I think really deeply thought about and hopefully thought of. So yeah, let us know if you've used Operation Restoration. The starter kit for Operation Restoration Vacation Bible School is $140. That means, and you also get not just all the guides for all the stations, but you get 10 interactive books for kids. So if you've got a small VBS, boom, you're done. $140 for 10 kids. There you go. You've got what you need to do Operation Restoration. If you do have a mobile device handy, you can go to the homepage. You can scan that QR code and go to the Operation Restoration homepage directly. I suppose if you're on your mobile device, it's not so easy. But there's a scope and sequence chart there, some free digital downloads, support your use of Operation Restoration, and more. I'll also encourage you to check out the Sparkhouse YouTube because there are some videos that dig a little deeper into Operation Restoration, and Facebook is always a good source for some of the things we've got going as well. All right, this is Creative Arts Camp. This is available only in print. This is a resource that we have adapted from a congregation in Denver, Colorado, Episcopal congregation that has found great success in this. They do it every year, and they really tap into the artists in their community, the makers, the musicians, people who can really involve kids in significant ways. whether we're talking performance, whether we're talking art, um, installations, you name it. Creative Arts Camp has been a success for them, and it's something that we are proud to present in this, um, what should I say, more edited form. So it connects Bible stories to creative expression through art, music, movement, drama activities. Um, it's an alternative to Vacation Bible School. It has four great themes for 5 day, 6 hour full day camps. So uh, uh, you really have a lot of options on how you use Creative Arts Camp, and maybe you want to use it throughout the year, throughout the summer. And there's an optional 3 hour camp that allows for a half day VBS. So the themes include praise, creation care, who's my neighbor, saints and holy helpers. But part one is all into the how to. How do you design your creative arts camp? How do you get started? What's your planning timeline? How do you schedule a creative arts camp? That's all available to you in part one. Then the four VBS programs, the praise, creation care, who's my neighbor, saints and holy helpers are all separate programs. And then the appendices. Um, I'm going to be digging into one of these programs, I should say, one program, one station of a program, because there's just so much. Uh, in in the creation care camp, for example, in the visual arts station, for example, your kids are on Monday assembling a drum. You've given them the process and how to build the drum. On Tuesday, they're painting a drum. On Wednesday and Thursday, they're painting designs on a drum. And on Friday, they're playing the drum, because in the other stations of a creation care camp, um, this is all moving towards a performance of art and music on the last day, and so the drum is part of that performance, and so all the stations are integrated into moving towards that Friday. Uh, I mean, Friday's kind of the rehearsal, I should say. The real activity would be Creative Arts Sunday. So they'll do it on Friday, but there's the hope that kids will then kind of bring their week of VBS to a culmination, a celebration with a Creative Arts Sunday. So in part three of Creative Arts Camp, there's all the reproducibles you need and all the games you need, et cetera, et cetera. You can purchase, and well, the only way to purchase this is in print. It's not found on Sparkhouse Digital. All right, more summer fun ideas. I don't know if you've used Family Celebrate cards, 56 cards that have special themes, acts of service, rituals to try. That's the green cards. Yellow cards, ideas during travel. Orange cards for at home fun. And red cards that have activities for specific days. Every day of the summer, draw a card, and let's do something together as a family by way of these Family Celebrate summer cards. Some of the red cards, and think about the special days that they celebrate, include World Bicycle Day, Juneteenth, birth of St. John, Peter and Paul Day, Mary Magdalene Day, Mary, Martha, and Lazarus, Florence Nightingale, Mary, Mother of our Lord. Boy, there's a lot of Marys who we're celebrating over the summer. And third Sunday of August, Honeybee Day. So that's just the red cards. All right, there's activities for the family to do, ideas for them to try in regard to a ritual moment, a devotional moment. So Family Celebrate cards, wonderful gifts. Uh, Again, something that's available in bulk. I talked about the books for graduates earlier on, available in bulk purchase opportunities. So too, if you want to hand out cards to your families, maybe as part of VBS or as a way for them to stay connected to church during the summer, maybe posting some things online about what they're drawing in their cards and doing by way of their cards. It's a resource on wearesparkhouse.org that has ability for you to look inside, has a way to promote the use of Family Celebrate cards, a free promo pack. But here's the bulk discount. So they're down to $4.99 a deck if you order 26 or more. So always check the quantity discount on wearesparkhouse.org if you're thinking about a resource that might be something you want to distribute to a number of people in your congregations. Family Celebrate cards. There you go. Perfect for kids ages 3 through 12. Can be used all summer long. And as I said, start at $9.99 a pack. Oh, you're ahead of me, Ruth Ann. I am going to talk about Flat Jesus. 2 summers ago, it was a huge hit. Well, we decided to bring back Flat Jesus. If you're familiar with Elf on the Shelf or Flat Stanley or any of those kind of fun activities, we thought it'd be great if our kids could, and our families and youth and you name it, can kind of take Jesus with them wherever they go over the summer. And so we had this promotion called Flat Jesus a couple years ago. That was just a really fun thing. But with the youth gathering coming up in New Orleans this year, we thought it would be fun if we could kind of does that sound right? Resurrect Flat Jesus? What did I just say? If we could bring Flat Jesus back and have people engage with their favorite version of Jesus over the summer and show us where you all are taking them and how you all are keeping Jesus close. And there are ways to do that, of course. On our Facebook, we are Sparkhouse on Facebook, Sparkhouse on Instagram, and then connecting Flat Jesus by way of the hashtag Flat Jesus. However you want to share your Flat Jesus moments. This is some pictures. Flat Jesus went to a wedding. Flat Jesus on the farm. And notice the different versions of them, because we really do want you to connect with the Flat Jesus that seems to work in your local settings. And so these are all free resources. We are sparkhouse.org, promotions, Flat Jesus. There is a page of related to this promotion. And what's so cool about this page is that I got these mixed around here. What's so cool about the page is that it takes you to each of our curricula and each of the versions of Flat Jesus, whether it's the Holy Moly version, the Frolic version, the Spark version, the World version, the Reform version. You can figure out how to do the Flat Jesus thing, and then find the Flat Jesus of your choice to work with. We are hoping to culminate with Flat Jesus at the youth gathering. And so if you know some youth who are coming to the gathering, encourage them to show up at our booth and take some pictures with us and their Flat Jesus, because we would just think it'd be a blast. And we'll be there. Maybe some of your youth will be there at the Created to Be conference in New Orleans. And maybe there'll be some Flat Jesuses showing up at the conference too. That would be fun. We think that would be a blast. So again, if you're looking for resources for Flat Jesus, they're all free resources. We are sparkhouse.org, Flat Jesus. Okay, my 45-minute webinar is about over. And I'm going to end with this slide. Thank you very much. I hope you have a great summer. God's blessings on your ministry throughout the summer, and I just pray that you'll have some wonderful stories to tell us along the way, and maybe even at youth gathering if you get a chance to. Okay, well, very good. You take care. God's blessings to you all. Bye-bye.